All right, let's just jump right in. Look, we all get it. Exercise is crucial, but there's just so much out there, right? You've got CrossFit, you've got marathon training, you've got powerlifting. It's kind of overwhelming. It makes you wonder, is there one thing, like a foundational exercise, that pretty much everyone should be doing no matter what their goal is? Well, that's exactly the question we're going to tackle today.
So think about this for a second. What if there was a single type of training that could give a marathon runner this massive aerobic engine, but at the same time, it could also help a heavy lifter recover faster and perform better? I know, it sounds a little too good to be true, but the science actually points to a surprisingly clear answer.
And the answer, believe it or not, comes down to a specific type of cardio, one that's all about building your aerobic foundation from the inside out. Now, elite athletes have known about this for decades, but it's only now that we're really starting to understand just how powerful it is for everyday health, and it's called Zone 2 training.
So what is it really? The whole idea behind Zone 2 is just keeping a steady, moderate effort. It's not an all-out sprint that leaves you gasping for air, and it's definitely not a lazy walk in the park. It's that perfect sweet spot right in the middle. And as you're about to see, that's where all the magic happens for your body's long-term health.
Okay, so why is this kind of chill, moderate pace so powerful? What's the big deal? Well, it's because it kicks off these incredible changes deep inside your muscles. You can literally think of it as giving your body's entire energy system a major hardware upgrade.
I mean, the benefits here are just profound. First off, your heart, it's a muscle, right? It gets stronger, a lot stronger. This helps with everything from your resting heart rate to your blood pressure. Your body also literally grows new tiny blood vessels to get more oxygen to your muscles. But the biggest deal, the real star of the show, is what it does to your cellular engines, your mitochondria.
Okay, flashback to high school biology. Remember hearing about mitochondria? They're the powerhouses of the cell. That's the classic line, and it's actually true. These are the little factories inside your cells that take fuel, like fats and carbs, mix it with the oxygen you breathe, and churn out ATP. And ATP is the energy currency that makes everything in your body go.
And wow, check this out. This slide just lays it all out, plain and simple. On the left, you've got an untrained muscle with, a few small mitochondria doing their best. But then look at the right, after consistent Zone 2 training. That same muscle is now absolutely packed with more mitochondria, and they're bigger and way more efficient. This is that upgrade we're talking about. It's a massive boost to your body's ability to burn fat for fuel.
But that's not all. This whole mitochondrial upgrade, it has this other huge benefit. And it involves totally rethinking something that athletes have been trained to hate for decades: lactic acid.
Yeah, you've heard this a million times, I'm sure. That searing burn you get when you're pushing hard? For ages, everyone blamed it on toxic lactic acid building up in your muscles, and then they said that's what made you sore the next day. Well, guess what? That's a total myth. Just completely wrong. The idea of lactic acid being the bad guy in the story of exercise is probably one of the biggest misconceptions in all of fitness.
So let's set the record straight. Here's what's really going on. First, a little nitpick, but it's important. Your body makes lactate, not lactic acid. And second, lactate is not waste, not even close. Think of it more like a premium high-octane fuel that your body can recycle and use for more energy. Oh, and that burning sensation? That's actually coming from hydrogen ions that are released alongside lactate. They're related, but they are not the same thing.
Okay, so if lactate isn't trash, what happens to it? Well, your body has this amazing, super efficient recycling system that kicks into high gear, especially when you've been doing a lot of Zone 2 training.
It's called the lactate shuttle, and this diagram shows it perfectly. So step 1, you're working hard, right? Your big, powerful muscle fibers, your fast twitch fibers, they produce lactate. Then step 2, that lactate gets shuttled over to your endurance fibers, your slow twitch fibers. And guess what's in there? All those new mitochondria you built. Those mitochondria grab the lactate, and step 3, they recycle it back into pure energy. Any extra that's left over just gets sent to the heart and liver to be used as even more fuel. It's a beautiful system.
All right, so the science is super clear. Building up these little mitochondrial engines is a total game changer. So how do we actually do it? How do we find that personal Zone 2 sweet spot and get started?
Well, you've got a few ways to go about it. The absolute gold standard is a lactate meter, which, it directly measures lactate in your blood, but it's expensive and not very practical for most people. Then you've got a heart rate monitor, which is a decent middle-of-the-road option. But that brings us to the easiest and, honestly, the best method for most of us to start with.
It's called the talk test, and you're going to love this. It's totally free.
The rule is super simple. You need to be working at an intensity where you could hold a conversation, but the person you're talking to should be able to tell you're exercising. You can speak in full sentences, but it's a little strained. It's surprisingly accurate and a fantastic way to get going.
So, what's the actual prescription here? What should your week look like? Well, the key is consistency. You're going to want to aim for 3 to 4 sessions a week, with each of those workouts lasting about 45 to 60 minutes. That puts your total weekly goal at around 3 to 4 hours. That's really the dose you need to get all those awesome physiological benefits.
And listen, if you take away only one thing about how to do this, let it be this: you have to stay steady. This isn't interval training. You can't just spike your heart rate up and down. The whole point is to keep that constant, moderate pressure on your system for the entire workout. That sustained effort is precisely what signals your body to build more and better mitochondria. When you put all this together, the stronger heart, the better blood flow, those supercharged mitochondria, you unlock something really special. Something that might just be one of the biggest secrets to long-term health and, well, longevity.
And that special something is called metabolic flexibility. What is that? It's basically your body's superpower to switch fuels on the fly. You're just chilling, walking around, it's burning fat. You suddenly need to sprint for the bus, boom, it switches over to carbs. It's seamless. Having this ability is a massive indicator of good metabolic health, and Zone 2 training is one of the absolute best ways to develop it.
So why is that such a big deal? Because the opposite of being flexible is being dysfunctional. Metabolic dysfunction. And that's not just a scary term. That's things like insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. By teaching your body how to burn fat effectively and clear lactate efficiently, Zone 2 training directly attacks the root causes of some of our most common modern diseases.
So you see, this is way bigger than just shaving a few seconds off your run time or feeling less sore after a workout. This is about giving your body a fundamental upgrade for the rest of your life. So the only question left is, are you ready to start building that foundation?